Hello everybody, welcome back to my series of American Horror Story recaps. You may have noticed today is a little bit different. I am not doing a board recap for this video because I am very passionate about the fact that this season does not belong with the rest of American Horror Story. And I think a lot of y'all will agree with me when I say that this is the worst season because there is just so much about this season that is atrocious. We're going to talk about it all. We're going to talk about the cast, the problems with the season, the writing, the main problem. So buckle up because it's going to be a wild ride. So this may be to my detriment, but I've decided not to rewatch this season. The last time I watched this was actually like 4 or 5 months ago. So it's still semi-fresh in the back of my mind, but I have a couple notes. This video is going to be a little bit different from the other ones, by the way, because I know a lot of you really do not care about this season and what actually happened in it. I'm going to be very sparse with the recap here, and we're just going to talk about its problems in this video and my thoughts on a lot of those issues. So this season aired with Red Tide as double feature, and it aired after Red Tide. So technically this is the 11th story. It's still a part of season 10, but it is the 11th story in this anthology. So a lot of people consider Red Tide and Death Valley to be separate seasons. I consider Red Tide to be its own season, but this, I just don't think I can give it that. Death Valley is quite literally garbage, like unwatchable. I've watched it a total of 4 times now. Oh my gosh, each time was a chore and it never got better. And it's only 4 episodes, keep in mind. Like, you'd think that that would be doable. You think that that would be easy. So not only is double feature split in half, but the Death Valley portion of that season is also split in half. Every single episode, half of it takes place in the 50s, 60s, or 70s, and then the other half of it takes place in 2021. A huge issue I have with this season is the fact that it kept splitting up different pieces of the season. First of all, it's only 4 episodes, so if you're going to try and tell a story, maybe you should try and stay in one particular place in time instead of jumping all over the place, confusing your audience. Because literally 20 minutes of each episode is spent in the 50s or the 60s or the 70s, and a lot of the time that stuff is a lot more interesting than what's even happening in the present day. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the rundown of what happened in the 50s, 60s, and 70s before I tell you about what's in the present day, because it's just easier to understand if you have the timeline in order. This season focuses on President Eisenhower in the 50s in the first 2 episodes, and then it kind of shifts, and you see a bunch of different other presidents and random-ass cameos like Marilyn Monroe, which I'll get into. The presidents of the 50s and 60s, and even the 70s, so that includes President Eisenhower, President John F. Kennedy, President Nixon. The 3rd episode of this season takes us to 1957, where we see Mammy cheats on him with Valiant Thor, who is apparently an alien in disguise. By 1963, it's revealed that when President Kennedy took over, he learned of the treaty and tries to back out of the treaty because he's for the American people. However, it's revealed here that on November 22nd, 1963, the aliens are the ones that assassinated John F. Kennedy. We learn in the finale that by 1969, Dwight dies. We learn that in 1972, the reason why President Nixon resigned from office was obviously Watergate, that whole situation. But we learn that the person that was the whistleblower for Watergate was Miss Sarah Paulson's character, Mamie Eisenhower, so that she could live on Area 51. And that brings us to the present day, where we are greeted by 4 college students that have nothing to do with any of the flashbacks, just a bunch of random ass bitches. They are abducted while they're on a camping trip and impregnated, all 4 of them, even the men.
I keep craving weird shit like vanilla yogurt with barbecue chips, but when I eat it, I can't keep it down.
How's your chest?
Like I've been punched in the tits by Tyson.
I need you guys to do something for me.
This is so dumb. Men can't get pregnant.
Just shut up.
Something's happening on mine.
Holy shit. What does that mean?
And shortly thereafter are taken to Area 51, where they can be monitored. And by episode 2, we see them in this white-ass room. They are surrounded by a bunch of other people in white clothes. Basically, the aliens' plan here to impregnate a bunch of humans and try to make the perfect human-alien hybrid. It all comes to a head when all 4 of these girlies die. Kendall, who is played by Kaya Gerber, she gives birth to the perfect alien baby. She is decapitated, and then there's this like big metal orb that's put on her head. So the aliens turn her into a breeding machine, essentially. We also get a reveal here that Mamie Eisenhower is still alive in 2021. She tries to stop the breeding and then they kill her. And that would be Sarah Paulson's last scene in this show. I really wish that I could make sense of anything I just told you. I'm not even sure how long this video is going to be, but that is the end of the timeline. That is the end of the timeline. I cannot make sense of anything that just happened. You really just have to watch it. You really just have to witness what I just explained to you in order for anything to make some sort of sense in your mind. So let's talk about the cast first of all. All the best actors are reserved for the 50s, 60s, 70s storyline. Lily Rabe is considered a main character. You want to know how many scenes she's in? 1. Maybe 2 actually. Lily Rabe, mother of the century, is in 2 scenes, and she's considered a main character. These flops in the present day, all 4 of these college age kids that are clearly 30 and above, are all terrible. Like, not a single one is even decent. And actually blown away by how bad it was. A lot of it is on the writing. I don't know how we went from Jessica Lange, Sarah Paulson, Frances Conroy, Angela Bassett, Kathy Bates, Dennis O'Hare, the list goes on. I don't know, Lily Rabe, Evan Peters. I don't know how we went from all those girlies to these 4 flops in this season. Then we have the guy that plays Dwight Eisenhower. He's decent. Nothing to write home about. He's like I said, he's just there. The guy that plays Nixon, absolutely atrocious. Oh, and then we have Angelica Ross playing an alien. That is such a waste of her talent. Just comes across as the most cringe thing you've ever seen in your entire life. And to round out this band of terrible actors, terrible impressions, we have Sarah Paulson. Obviously nothing against Sarah Paulson. She is a god among men, okay, when it comes to acting. I wouldn't even call this a decent performance. She's not serving what she could be serving. And that is 100% on the writing, 100% on the directing, and 100% on the editing. I fear not a single actor here really stood out to me. Like, every single member of the cast is wasted. Even Leslie Grossman. They even fucked up Leslie Grossman. They gave her the worst accent she could possibly work with. It doesn't come off as believable. Again, everybody is just there. The ugly ass black and white filter. This show used to care. It used to really care about the way the show looks, the way the show is presented, the way the show is written, the way the show is directed. They did not care this season.
Holy shit. What does that mean?
It means all 4 of us are pregnant.
What'd you find out?
Miss Earhart's fingerprints are still on file with the FBI. It's going to take at least a day to get a comparison.
I think we both know what the results will be.
Sir, Amelia Earhart disappeared in 1937. She'd be almost 60.
Mamie used to keep a photo of her in her office. She worshipped the woman. I saw that photo practically every day. That's Amelia Earhart.
I think we also need to talk about the implications of this season. In later seasons, they literally do not mention an alien takeover, when it literally ends with an alien takeover. In Delicate, which takes place 2 years after this season, in 2023, there's not a single alien to be seen. And say what you want about the continuity of this show, it gets very messy, and there's some things that don't make sense at all. Is this season even connected to the aliens from Asylum? I don't know. This season is such a letdown for me, and I really didn't want to give it the time of day because it's so bad. I don't know how to process this. It's been 3.5 years now since it's been out, and I'm still like, what was the goal? With all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this very short video. I don't have anything else to say about this season. Look forward to other videos coming this month. And as always, I do have a Patreon, so if you would like to go down below and support me on there, that would be lovely of you. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.